Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of the astonishing, the most merciful God, the bestower of mercy. And these two verses that we start with, by the angels who rank themselves in order, and by those who drive forward and dispel. And by those who read for an admonition, verily your God is one, the Lord of heaven and earth, and of whatever is between them, and the Lord of the East. Some would say, Wasafate Safa, Wazajirate Zajra. And those verses couldn't be good for exorcism, according to some people. Well, the whole Koran, you drive out evil with what is good. Fataliyate dikra. Yeah, I'm not doing this too well today, but one can get the idea that Surah 37 is sort of like 36 in its pattern. Not quite as intense or whatever, not quite as green. If you want to put a color to it, it has a little bit different in terms of pink tonnage. If you want to color the sort of sound that it has or the feel that it has. We have ordained the lower heaven with the ornament of stars. We place therein a guard against every rebellious devil, that they may not listen to the exalted princes, for they are darted at them from every side to repel them, and a lasting torment is prepared for them, except him who catches a word by stealth and is pursued by a shining flame. And one of the New Age things that kind of took off from this sort of idea is the secret chiefs. I'm in contact with the secret chiefs. No, you're not in the contact with the secret chiefs. You're, something heard and it threw stuff in and all that whatnot. Acts, therefore, whether they be stronger by nature, are whom we have created. We have surely created them of stiff clay, and thou wonderest at God's power and their obstinacy. But they mock to convince them. When they are warned, they do not take warning, and when they do see any sign, they scoff, and say, This is no other than a manifest sorcery. After we shall be dead, and become dust and bones, shall we readily be raised to life? And our forefathers also answer, Yea, and ye shall then be despicable. There shall be but one blast of the trumpet, and they shall see themselves raised, and they shall say, Alas for us! This is the day of judgment. This is the day of distinction between righteous and the wicked, which ye have rejected as a falsehood. Gather together those who have acted unjustly, and their comrades, and the idols which they worship besides God, and direct them in the way to hell, and set them before God's tribunal, for they shall be called to account. What aileth you that ye defend not one another? But on this day they shall submit themselves to the judgment of God, and they shall draw nigh unto one another, and they shall dispute among themselves, and the seduced shall say unto those who seduce them, Verily ye come unto us with presages of prosperity. And the seducers shall answer, Nay, rather ye were not true believers, for we had no power over you, but ye were people who transgressed. Wherefore the sentence of our Lord hath been justly pronounced against us. And we shall surely taste. We seduced you, but we erred ourselves. They shall both therefore be made partakers of the same punishment on that day. Thus will we deal with the wicked, because when it is said unto them, There is no God beside the true God, they swell with arrogance, and say, Shall we abandon our gods for a distracted poet? Nay, he cometh with the truth, and beareth witness to the former apostles, Ye shall surely taste of the painful torment, and ye shall not be rewarded, but according to your works. But as for the sincere servants of God, they shall have a certain provision, namely, there's fruits, and they shall be honored. They shall be placed in gardens of pleasure, leaning on couches opposite to one another. A cup shall be carried round unto them, filled from a limpid fountain, for the delight of those who drink. It shall not oppress the understanding, neither shall they be inebriated therewith. And near them shall lie the virgins of paradise, refraining their looks from beholding any beside their spouses, having large dark eyes, and resembling the eggs of the ostrich, covered with feathers from the dust. Asrat, a tarf, delicate as if they were hidden eggs, well preserved. Neither will they have gall. And they shall turn the one unto the other, and shall ask one another questions. One of them said, shall one of them shall say, Verily I had an intimate friend, while I lived in this world, who said unto me, Art thou one of those who assertest the truth? After we shall be dead, and reduced to dust, and bones shall we surely be judged. Then he shall say unto his companions, Will ye look down? And he shall look down, and shall say, and shall see him in the midst of hell, and shall say unto him, By God, it wanted little, but thou hast drawn me into ruin. And had it not been for the grace of my Lord, and I had surely been of one of those who have been delivered up into the eternal torment. Shall we die any other than our first death, or do we suffer any punishment? Verily this is a great felicity. For the obtaining of felicity like this, let the laborers labor. Is this better entertainment, or the tree of Al-Zakun? Al-Zakun. So you see here that this is sort of paired in a way to the previous surah in terms of the theme as well. And that's why I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. And the tree is called Sajaratu Zakum. Oh, yeah, oh. It's a Q, not a K. Double Q. And my God, it wanted little, but thou hast drawn me into ruin. And had it not been for the grace of my Lord, I had surely been one of those who have been delivered up into ruin. Okay. Verily we have designed the same for an occasion of dispute unto the unjust. It is a tree which issueth from the bottom of hell. The fruit thereof resembleth the heads of devils. And the damned shall eat of the same, and shall fill their bellies therewith, and them thereon a mixture of filthy and boiling water to drink. Afterwards shall they return into hell. They found their fathers going astray, and they trod hastily in their footsteps, for the greater part of the ancients erred before them, and we sent warners unto who were warned, except the sincere servants of God. Noah called on us in former days, and we heard him graciously, and we delivered him and his family out of the great distress, and we caused his offspring to be of those who survived. On him, by the latest posterity, namely peace, be upon Noah among all creatures. Thus do we reward the righteous, for he is one of our servants, the true believers. And so it said that Nuh alayhi salam had 3 children, and I guess you could say that's analogous to in Surah 36 when it mentions the 3 sent ones. Thus do we reward the righteous, for he is one of our servants, the true believers. Afterwards, we drowned the others. Abraham was also of his religion when he came unto his Lord with a perfect heart. When he said unto his father and his people, "What do you worship? Do you choose false gods preferably to God? What therefore is your opinion of the Lord of all creatures?" And he looked and observed the stars and said, "Verily, I'm sick. I'm going to be sick, and shall not assist at your sacrifices." And they turned their backs and departed from him. And Abraham went privately to their gods and said, "Do ye not eat?" Went privately to their idols and said, "Do ye not eat of the meat which is set before you? What aileth you that ye speak not?" And he turneth upon them and struck them with his right hand and demolished them. And the people came hastily unto him, and he said, "Do ye worship the images which ye carve, whereas God hath created you, and also that which ye make?" They said, "Build a pile for him, and cast him into the glowing fire." And they devised a plot against him, but we made them inferior, and delivered him. And Abraham said, "Verily I am going unto my Lord, who will direct me. O Lord, grant me a righteous issue." Wherefore we acquainted him, and he should have a son, who shall be a meek youth. And when he had attained years of discretion, and could join in the acts of religion with him, Abraham said unto him, "O my son, verily I saw in a dream that I should offer thee in sacrifice. Consider therefore what thou art of opinion." He answered, "O my father, do what thou art commanded. Thou shalt find me, if God please, a patient person." And when they had submitted themselves to the divine will, and Abraham had laid his son prostrate on his face, we cried unto him, "O Abraham, now hast thou verified the vision. Thus do we reward the righteous. Verily this was a manifest trial, and we ransomed him with a noble victim. And we left the following salutation bestowed on him by the latest posterity, namely, peace on Abraham. Thus do we reward the righteous, for he is one of our faithful servants, and we rejoiced him with the promise of Isaac, a righteous prophet. We blessed him and Isaac of the offspring, where some righteous doers and others were manifestly injured their own souls. He also graciously his son that he was granted. Remember that it wasn't Ishmael came first, and God's rewarding of the good doers very clearly indicates that that the dream wasn't from God. How can disobeying God, not doing what God has told, be something that God is going to reward us for? That doesn't make sense. Their offspring were righteous doers, and others were manifestly injured their own souls. And we were also gracious unto Moses and Aaron heretofore, and we delivered them and their people from great distress, and we assisted them against the Egyptians, and they became conquerors, and we gave them the perspicuous book, and we directed them into the right way, and we left the following salutation on them by the later posterity, namely, peace be upon Moses and Aaron. Thus do we reward the righteous, for they were two of our faithful servants, and Elias was one of the people who were sent. When he said unto his people, Do you not fear God? Do you invoke Baal and forsake the most excellent Creator? God is your Lord, and the Lord of your forefathers. But they accused him of imposture, wherefore they shall be delivered up, except the sincere servants of God. The spring equinox was when I said at least the verse, when I came across the temple of Baal, the Atadu Baalan Watadharuna Ahsana Kalakin Atauna Baalan Watadharuna Ahsana Kalakin. So I at least said that verse. I don't know. I put the account elsewhere as we destroyed the images of Baal. God is your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers, but they accused him of imposture, wherefore they shall be delivered up, except the sincere servants of God. And we left following salutation to be bestowed on him by the latest posterity, namely, peace be on Ilyasin. Thus do we reward the righteous, for he was one of our faithful servants, and Lot was also one of those who were sent by us, and we delivered him and his whole family, except an old woman, his wife, who perished among others that remained behind. Afterwards we destroyed the others, and ye pass by the places where they once dwelt. As ye journey in the morning and by night, will ye not therefore understand? Jonas was also one of those who were sent by us, when he fled into the loaded ship, and those who were on board cast lots among themselves, and he was condemned, and the fish swallowed him, for he was worthy of reprehension. And if he had not been of those who praise God, verily he had remained in the belly thereof until the day of resurrection. And we cast him on the naked shore, and he was sick, and we caused a plant of a gourd to grow up over him, and we sent him to 100,000 persons, or they were a great number, and they believed. Wherefore we granted them to enjoy for a season. Inquire, the Meccans, inquire whether thy Lord hath daughters and they sons. It doesn't say Meccans here. Have we created the angels of the female sex? And were they witnesses thereof? Do they not say of their own false inventions, God hath begotten issue? And are they not really liars? Hath he chosen daughters preferably to sons? Ye have no reason to judge thus. Will ye therefore not be admonished? Or have ye a manifest proof of what ye say? Produce now your book of Revelations, if ye speak the truth. And they make him to be of kin unto the jinn. Jinn is the plural, not genie. Whereas the jinn know that they who affirm such things shall be delivered up. Far be that from God, which they affirm of him, except the sincere servants of God. Moreover, ye and that which ye worship shall not seduce any concerning God, except him who is destined to be burned in hell. There is none of us but hath an appointed place, We range ourselves in order, attaining the commands of God, and we celebrate the divine praise. The infidels say, misbelievers, if we had been favored with the book of divine revelations of those which were delivered unto the ancients, we had surely been sincere servants of God. Yet now Koran is revealed. They believe not therein, but hereafter shall they know the consequences of their unbelief. Our word hath formerly been given unto our servants, the apostles, that they shall surely be assisted against the misbelievers, and that our armies should surely be the conquerors. Turn aside therefore from them for a season, and see the calamities which shall afflict them, for they shall see future success and prosperity. Do they therefore seek to hasten our vengeance? Barely when it shall descend into their courts, an evil morning shall it be unto those who were warned in vain. A bad morning. Is it Shar? Is that the term? Turn aside from them, therefore, for a season, and see. Hereafter shall they see thy success and their punishment. Praise be unto thy Lord, the Lord who is far exalted above what they affirm of him, and peace be upon his apostles, and praise be unto God, the Lord of all creatures. And before I close here, let me check. An evil day. No, is it evil? Sahatihim. Fasah. Well, bad, anyways. But they taste their own evil nonetheless.